So I made a video about positive alcoholism, and I got some positive feedback, which I thought wouldn't happen, of course. So that was a good thing. And you know, I think alcoholics, of course, get a bad name because of a lot of people who don't know how to drink. They don't know the proper etiquette, the proper etiquette of being an alcoholic, and they make fool of themselves, right? So I'm here to maybe give some pointers, some advice to, new alcoholics who shouldn't, go down the same road of, uh, making fool of themselves in bars and in public. Alcoholism is not a bad thing. It should be enjoyed because it is bliss, and there is a refined, appropriate way by which you can drink and enjoy your drink. So with that being said, cheers. Okay, listen. First of all, we have to talk about bars. Bars, bar rooms, they are not what they used to be. Okay, a bar used to have dim lights. They used to have some depressed music. A bar was a haven for people who wanted to be alone, in the dark, who wanted to drink away their sorrow and, introspect, right? And reflect. This is what bars were supposed to be. Bars, okay, listen. Bars were supposed to be temples. Temples, okay? Bars were supposed to be temples where souls went to, let go of their worldly concerns, right? After a hard day's work or after a week of work, you went to a bar that was refined and classy, and you were alone and you had a couple of drinks and you felt better and you thought about things, and then you went home and, you were fine. This is what a bar is supposed to be, friends. This is what a bar is supposed to be. And now, listen, I don't go to bars for obvious reasons. I mean, bro, the last time I went to a bar, I was invited and I wanted to drink a beer. So I went and I couldn't believe it. Listen, bro. I went to a bar and you couldn't smoke in a bar, right? And I was surprised. Well, you can't smoke in a bar, but you can drink in a bar, right? And I was just appalled and disgusted. And there's loud music playing everywhere. The lamest of the lamest music. Always roaring in your ears. Like this is not what a bar is supposed to be. Right? A bar is not a party. A bar is not a social gathering. A bar is not a restaurant or a cafe or a deli. A bar is a temple. A dark temple for dark souls. Okay? You go to a bar to recharge and blow off some steam in silence and introspection with your best friend, right? And everywhere, it doesn't matter if you go to a restaurant, to a cafe, to, a fast food joint, to a nightclub, to a cafe/bar. It's the same thing. Loud music, overpopulated. Everybody talking, loud. Like so obnoxious. You don't have any room. You don't have any space. Bright lights. Okay? It's just like, it's not worth it. Okay? And here is where my advice comes in for, brand new, fresh alcoholics. bars are not worth it. Stay the fuck at home, because a lot of bars are populated by these washed up losers who, I don't know, need a couple of bottles to gain the courage to speak up and act tough. I've seen this. Like, people, a lot of dudes who go in bars, they're meek, they're the kind of person that take shit on the daily and don't stick up for themselves. But now, after that, they go to bars and they have a few drinks, and now they're Mr. Tough Guy. Now they talk aloud. Now they have to be in everybody's face, right? For no reason, right? And then you have the other example. These cretins, these morons, a lot of them are these older dudes in their 50s and onwards who, I don't know, they just go and they drink the cheapest thing possible, and they get wasted and they vomit everywhere. They start scandals, they start fights, they faint, they pass out because they drink too much. It's embarrassing. Bars today are embarrassing. I do not recommend people going into bars today. It's just a shit show. It's a circus of the lowest quality possible. No standards whatsoever, right? Like, listen, if you want to go to a bar, go to those classy ones where the bartender, has a vest on and has those gloves on, and, that's nice. If you want to go to a bar, go there. It'll be a nice experience, but otherwise, it's just not worth it. Okay, and listen, I'm gonna have to break your illusion here. Alcoholics, by nature, they're not extroverts. By nature, most alcoholics are not sociable people. Most alcoholics by nature are, lone wolves, lone people, solitary, right? We don't socialize, we don't mix, we don't mingle with other people, okay? Okay, and if you have noticed, as I have noticed, most people, when they go to bars, they get wasted, and that is how they gain the courage to, talk to people and be sociable. And I used to be like that. I would drink, in order to reduce the stress of being awkward. And that's how I became, I would become sociable with people. I would talk to people. Otherwise, if I was sober, I wasn't talking to anybody because I didn't have the courage and I didn't want to, right? And listen. If you are an alcoholic with experience like me, older, listen, you already have your reserves at home. I have a stockpile. My fridge has only bottles. That's it, right? I don't go to bars. The only reason I would go to a bar is to join a fancy cocktail or whatever. But no, real alcoholics, okay, they enjoy their brew at home by themselves. It is a ritual. It is a ceremony. It is communion of some sort. It is a spiritual communion. Real drinking happens at home, folks. At home. This is how you act as a proper alcoholic. This is adequate alcoholism. Only a dumbass gets drunk in public. Only a dummy gets drunk in a bar. Okay, the real drinking, folks, happens at home by yourself. Okay? And listen, there is this stereotype that an alcoholic is this unhinged person. That is because most people have their experience with alcoholics in bars, or maybe a father who, I don't know, is miserable and he drinks and then he beats his kids up and causes scandals. Listen, folks, listen. A true refined alcoholic, like myself, like you. Listen, I don't start shit with anybody. I'm not loud. I don't cause problems. I don't yell aloud. I don't start fights with people. I don't bother or harass anybody. I don't cause a scene. I don't vomit everywhere. I don't collapse. I don't cause problems for anybody. Real alcoholism is extremely private and intimate, right? It doesn't need to happen in public for all to see. Real alcoholism is a very sacred thing. Very sacred. Okay? So, you see, I learned from my mistakes. When I was younger, when there was a public venue or, event, I used to get wasted immediately. And, I made a fool of myself in public because I didn't know the proper way. I didn't know how to drink, and I didn't know why you should drink. Okay? And another thing, you don't drink. Alcohol should not be used to suppress your sadness or your resentments. Alcohol should not be used to, temper the beast, as it were. Alcohol is here to enhance your experience. Alcohol is here to bring joy and bliss and euphoria and ecstasy, right? Alcohol is here to help you ascend, right? And this is the same thing with drugs, basically. Whenever you hear about, washed up alcoholics or drug users with their addictions, it's like, oh, I just drank or I used drugs because, I was feeling bad and the only way for me to function was to, get high or whatever. This isn't so. This is juvenile. This is tasteless. Okay. These lovely chemicals are here to help you elevate yourself, right? Elevate yourself. This is why I drink. I don't drink because I'm miserable or because my life is not going anywhere. I drink because I'm happy. And I want to extend that happiness. I want to make it more sophisticated. Okay? And it's a wonderful thing, So I guess this video is meant to, clear the smoke, and to help alcoholics who don't know the proper way of doing things. Stop making a fool of yourself in public. If you're in public, have a few drinks and go home. And if you wanna, maybe you feel you're in the mood to go all the way and etc. Just drink at home, bro. Drink at home by yourself. Listen to some good music and you'll be fine. I think this is what happens. A lot of people, when they start drinking, they become desperate, and because of the booze, the desperation only amplifies, and people, usually people suppress their emotions, and when they have a couple of drinks, it just blows out of proportion, right? I think this is what happens with most alcoholics. Usually they suppress their emotions. And then when they finally get a couple of drinks, they just explode. And that is why they make fool of themselves and start fights and harass people for no reason. And they ruin everybody's good time, right? Be better. Be a better drinker. Drink at home by yourself. Stop causing problems for everybody around you. This is not the right way. Okay, this is the proper way. Enjoy what you have. Uh, count your blessings, folks. Count your blessing. Listen. Because I started drinking, ever since I started drinking, my life has improved dramatically. Dramatically. It's like I'm not stressed all the time. You know, my anxiety is at a minimum because of my little friend here, right? I don't have worries. I'm not, I'm not filled with dread all the time because I know that when I get home after work, I'm gonna have a wonderful time with these lovely little helpers. Okay? I think that a lot of people approach their quote addiction in a negative way. It is in a negative light. I'm in a bad mood, so I'm gonna go and drink or inject myself and it's gonna get worse. This is not the right approach. We've all had struggles. We've all had obstacles and hardships in our lives. Of course we have. And this is not the way to handle things. Like even if I have a bad day at work or whatever, I just know when I come home, I'm gonna have the greatest time ever. The greatest time ever. When I drink and listen to music, my writing improves. Everything is better. Everything improves. There's this ecstasy. There's this passion, right? Stop approaching everything, especially your drinking, with this negative, bad attitude, right? This is what I mean. Whenever you hear a story or whenever you read about addiction, it is always this meek, pathetic, mediocre, banal, cliche about the only way I can function is to get high and get wasted. Nah, bro. That's not how it goes for me. Every time I get high, I get high. It's wonderful. There's no bitterness. There's no spite. There's no malice, I can listen, folks, listen. I function properly without my little friend here in society. No problem. This is not an addiction. This is a way of enhancing life. Booze and drugs should be a way of enhancing, the experience of one's life in a positive light. Change your attitude. Have a better approach. Drinking is wonderful. Drugs are wonderful. And listen, I have to give this disclaimer. I'm not advocating for anything here. Okay. Drugs are banned. Okay. I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating anything. Live your life how you wanna. But if you are engaging in, chemical bliss, then treat it as bliss. Because my life has improved. I've never been happier, right? This is exactly like technology or every kind of advantage or privilege. They are here to help you. They are here to elevate and enhance and evolve your experience in a positive way. Okay? And people treat this privilege like it's a demon, like it has control over their minds, and they are these helpless little victims, dames in distress. I hate that shit, right? I hate that shit because it's not true. It's not true. You're pretending. You're role playing. You have all the power in the world. These addictions, if you want to call them addictions, they have no control over you. Certainly no control over me. I love them. They are part of my life. They are equals in my life, and they are amazing. And listen, I live in a part of the world where drugs, and I mean hardcore drugs, they are not easily available. Okay, unfortunately, it is what it is, right? They are not legalized here, but if they were, let me tell you, I would have an eclectic and esoteric and all-inclusive collection of the most hardcore drugs, and I would love it. It would be even better, an even better experience, a bonus to my life. I don't look down on my drinking. I don't have a bad attitude. You know, I was in that phase when I was much younger because I didn't know how to handle, all the grief and all the negative emotions. I was like a teenager, so I didn't know nothing about nothing. And I was bitter and I was sour and I made a fool of myself. You know, to give you an example, at my high school graduation party, I was not in the best mindset. I was not in the best state because of certain reasons, right? I was in a bad place and I mixed every type of booze. Like I was drinking beer and wine and hardcore liquor. I was mixing everything and I just lost it. I passed out. I puked everywhere and I had to be sent home and I woke up in a puddle of my own vomit. Right? That's not what you want to be. It's not the proper way, but I didn't know any better. I had no experience, but I've learned from my many mistakes. Okay? And I guess this video should serve as a sort of, I don't know, advice to, these old drinkers, these old fuckheads who I don't know what's their deal, bro. We all have a tough time in this life. We all have to work hard. We don't get the credit for everything we do for others. And all y'all, of course, a lot of drinkers are men. So I'm talking to the men here. But if you are a female drinker, good on you. But I'm talking to these older dudes who, I've had experience, relatives, older, uncles who were just like these fucking disasters, these walking calamities, like these wrecks, these shells of people who were destroyed by their drinking because they didn't know how lucky they were. If you are a drinker and if you have a bad attitude, you do not know how privileged you are. You do not know how lucky you are. Bruh. Okay? On me. Be passionate about your drinking. Be ecstatic. Be euphoric. Have some merriment. Be joyous. Right? And listen. Whenever I am not at work, okay, when I am not working, I drink and I smoke from the moment I wake to the moment I go to sleep. And that is constant. I drink, I'm a chronic drinker and I smoke like a chimney and I ain't got no problems. I am absolutely in nirvana, enlightenment. Take it easy. Take it easy. This is what I'm trying to tell people. Even when they drink, this infuriates me. People who have access and the money to get all of these incredible drugs, these amazing chemicals, and they're still fucking like miserable. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. If I had access to all the drugs, I would ascend to a next level of fucking, I don't know, existence, right? Shit. I would be on that God level, right? this is about it. Be better. Enjoy what you have. Count your blessings. Stop being this negative Nancy all the time. What's with this aggression, bro? This is yet again another thing that bothers me. A lot of these drinkers, alcoholics, they have this unnecessary aggression, this unnecessary tension when they drink, because when they don't drink, they are these meek milksops, right? These washed up losers, but when they drink, they become these berserkers. It is goofy. Calm the fuck down. Calm down. Handle and be in control of your emotions, bro. Because what you have here is the holiest of nectars, and we take it for granted. We take it for granted. Take it for granted. It's so belittling. It's so it's so undignified. We should love what we have here. On me. Love what you have. Stop being such a sourpuss, such a spoil sport, right? And I guess this is about it. Listen, there's a proper way to be an alcoholic, and then there is the common way. For commoners, for peasants. Only unenlightened simpletons behave in the way I have expressed, prior, right? Only fools go in public and they just harass people after a couple of drinks, because we all know if they don't have a couple of drinks, then they are, pussies, right? It's so embarrassing. It's so undignified. Have some respect for yourself, okay? Have some respect for yourself. Stop being a clown, okay? For you brand new, fresh alcoholics, I hope this video helps you. I hope this video gives you, a proper perspective on things. I think this is very important for you to have, even if you are a non-drinker, if you are about that sober life, for whatever reason, even if you are about that sober life, I think it is good to have the proper perspective and the proper mindset of things. Because, and this is, of course, if you are exposed to only one side of a situation, which is usually the negative. I think we all have experienced, the negative aspect of alcoholics. Like, listen, every drinker that I have had contact with, especially in family, they were these fucking baboons and buffoons. And I was like, why though? Why? And I'm here to tell you, there is the sunny side of things, right? Drinking is bliss. Drinking is heaven. And I'm not promoting anything, okay? I hope the AI overlords don't shadow ban me. But still, okay, this is bliss in a bottle. This is that ichor of the gods, the sweet nectar, the golden concoction. You see, back in the ancient times, like the Greeks and the Romans and what have you, they were all about that wine, bro. They knew the truth, and they were having a blast, right? So we have de-evolved. We have degraded. Like, what you talking about? Like, this is absolute happiness in a bottle. No cap. Okay, so that's about it. If you are just starting your drinking, okay, I'm here to tell you that there is a proper way, a classy way, a refined way, an exquisite way of handling your situation. Okay, there are the majority of drinkers. They are a bunch of clowns and buffoons. They take what they have for granted. Don't be like that. There is another way. There is another way, and it is beautiful. It is wondrous. It is a miracle. Be refined. Be sophisticated. Have some dignity. Right? Do not accept mediocrity. Mediocrity. Because I think that this is the worst thing that can happen to a person, is that a person who is attacked, by stress and hardships, a person is weakened, and that person, it has the tendency to favor what is easiest and what is convenient and comfortable, right? And that is why we have a lot of mean drunks out here, and drug addicts for whatever reason, right? Don't be like that. There is another way, another golden path. It's all about perspective. It's about your mindset, right? So this is about it. Cheers, bro. Cheers. Stop being so bitter all the time. Relax. Relax. Have a drink, have a smoke, and so on. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Listen, I'm not religious at all, but if there is a God, this is one of his many gifts to us, okay? And you should appreciate it and act accordingly with dignity, okay? So that's about it. And hopefully your drinking experience will improve dramatically, okay? So, if you wanna support your boy, I got a few books on Amazon, that talk about, addiction and what have you. The link will be down below. If you want to support your boy, you can buy them on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Keep on drinking, because it is lovely and beautiful. Okay. See ya.